Hello and welcome to the Darren Ambrose and Simone Charley Show. I'm Ben Weinrib.
And I'm Amanda Marcatulio.
We've got a lot to talk about today. As always, we're going to talk about men's basketball losing, women's basketball winning, a little bit of breaking news peppered in there before we go to some track and field success, and then our first ever this year video star of the week. We're going to move on to fill in the blank, finish up with some tennis, and as always, our favorite recurring segment, Austin Carter was tweet of the week. So, leading off here, men's basketball has had 2 games since we last saw you. We had a loss at home against LSU, another loss on the road, this time to Georgia, our second loss to them. This is continuing a slide that's now 6 straight losses, Vanderbilt's longest losing streak since 2002-2003. That is a lot of pain right there.
It is. It's really disheartening, especially after the way they played against Kentucky. I mean, I don't know. Even though they lost, it seemed like they had their confidence back. It was going to maybe pick up that slack that they had right before that game. But I don't know. After these 2 games, it's hard to see. The LSU game was hard to watch.
Yeah, they were winning for so much of that. It felt like they had it just in their pocket. And then, as always, it seems it sort of trickled away there at the end. They came in as 3-point favorites, which I personally was a little surprised about, since at the time they had lost 4 straight in the SEC. But they held that lead until the very end. Then on the final possession, Shelton Mitchell drives up towards the end and just can't do anything with it. Neither Wade Baldwin nor wasn't involved, and Matthew Fisher-Davis wasn't even on the floor. Fisher-Davis didn't score a single point in that game. So this is something I sort of think we all expect from a young team, is they'll have on days and off days. Obviously, Kentucky was an on day even though they lost, and these past 2 games have been off days.
Yeah, they seem to, I don't know, almost play to the level against the team that they're playing at. As we saw against Kentucky, they had that potential, but I think it was because they were so pumped up, number 1 team in the country. But for some reason against LSU, when they were winning by, I think it was as much as 8 in the second half, and then it just slipped away. So I would like to see them be able to close. I know it's hard with a young team. That's probably something that they're going to have to work on. But
yeah, and just like Fisher-Davis didn't score at all against LSU, Riley LaChance, the second leading scorer, didn't score at all against Georgia, which is going to make it really tough to win on the road. They sort of closed out the gap at the end. They only lost by 8, but this was never really a game that was even close to them. Obviously, they gave up 4 guys on the other team scoring in double figures, and they really struggled.
They really did, especially in the second half. They had a very long streak going without scoring, and just in general, their shooting wasn't there. I mean, Damian Jones led with 16, but then after that, wasn't much scoring happening. And that was a team we had lost to previously in the season, and you think come back, maybe get a second chance against them, but unfortunately not. So having this losing streak going into the end of the season is not what we wanted to see.
Yeah, it's nice to see some people step up at random times. Like we saw Josh Henderson crack the starting lineup. We saw Jeff Roberson stepped up, put up 11 points, 2 for 2 from 3, but they've really got to string it all together if they want a second SEC win.
That's right, and I hope that comes with time. As you said, young team, we all know, a couple freshmen, a couple sophomores in the starting lineup. Hopefully, as they play together more, get more comfortable with it, we'll see that they can get that rhythm all together as a team.
Yeah, and this seems to be the same transition every time, but as good as the men's team, as bad as the men's team has been, the women's basketball team has been just that good, and it's been a little bit of a surprise this year with the 2 leading scorers graduating. The women's basketball team has won 4 of 5, and they've really just picked it up. They've now, given there was a win in there against Alabama Huntsville, but they took down number 14 Mississippi State, who at the time was undefeated. So that's something really nice to see.
Yeah, this is exciting for women's basketball. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly where we stand. We don't have averaging in double digits, and we don't really have that one scorer. But it's been good that we can get these wins in, because I think we were a little worried about that. But I'm curious to see how we go on from here, because the 2 teams that we beat, Alabama and Arkansas, were very close, 2 or 3 point games, and neither of those teams are great. So we'll see if that was just being the teams we needed to beat, or if we can beat even better teams than that.
Yeah, hopefully as the season goes on, injuries won't be such a problem. We've seen that with freshmen so far.
Yeah.
But maybe someone will step up. Morgan Beatty's looked good in the last game. But this is, for now, a middle of the pack SEC team, but maybe come SEC tournament time could make a little noise.
And that would be very exciting, because at this point, I don't know if we have much hope for the men's team. So
No, for sure.
counting on the women's team.
Now, as the later we go in the show, the more success we're having. Track and field, now with they're now 18. They broke 18 new facility records in this new indoor, please don't leave us, James Franklin indoor facility. And now, it's just been an incredible season so far. We saw something we'll see later in the show. Simone Charley broke the school record in indoor triple jump at 42 feet. Not 42 feet.
Yeah, 42 feet.
42 feet?
Starting from the line where she first jumped from her first hop, skip, jump, 42 feet.
Seems impossible. I don't believe it.
It's incredible. That's an incredible jump coming from Simone Charley. And she did really well last season, making it to nationals, I'm pretty sure, in the triple jump. So great to see that she's just coming right back at it in winter season. Sometimes winter's hard for these athletes coming off a whole off season in the fall, and usually they don't get back into it until the spring. But the fact that Simone Charley is already here winter season, this is looking great for her. And she came off an incredible soccer season, too. So
yeah, so before we get into our special, exclusive, super incredible interview, we have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Vanderbilt's women's soccer team has finally hired their new head coach, Darren Ambrose. I'm sure many of you were wondering, who is that handsome name at the start of the show? That would be the former UPenn soccer coach, the all-time leading, most winning coach at UPenn. He is British in accent and teeth, everything all together. And this sounds like a very exciting hire for the soccer team.
This is very exciting. I had the pleasure of being coached by Darren Ambrose one summer during camp, and he was really great, and the UPenn program was incredible that he was running. So this is really exciting for the Vanderbilt soccer team. They had some ups and downs last season, but hopefully, he can help them, and I think he'll be great. I think he'll do a great job.
Right. Well, let's send it over to the interview then with our Star of the Week.
Thanks, guys. I'm Max Hers here with our Vanderbilt Star of the Week, Simone Charley of Vanderbilt Track. Set the school record in the triple jump this week at the Vanderbilt Invitational. Second week in a row that we've hosted an event here on campus, and it's great to see Commodores taking home the hardware at our own events. Simone, you set the school record this week in the triple jump. Just talk about the emotions that go into setting a school record. You're only a sophomore. You have plenty of triple jumping left ahead of you, but how accomplished do you feel just about what you did this weekend?
It's definitely a really good feeling, I would say, just to get the season started off on a high note. But at the end of the day, it's literally just the beginning of the season, so I got to make sure I stay focused and get ready for the rest of the season.
Since it is so early in the season, how do you go about improving the triple jump from day to day? Because the whole part of track and field, especially an event like that, is doing the same thing over and over and over again. How do you really police yourself to make sure you're getting better every day?
For triple jump, it's more so about the small details and like the different angles that you have with your legs during the phases. And so basically it's all about just improving your technique every day as well as getting stronger, because the stronger you are, the farther you can jump.
The jump itself, is there a part of the three jumps that you're maybe less comfortable with or have improved on a lot over your time at Vanderbilt with the college coaching?
For sure, Coach Hump is an awesome coach, and he's been, especially this year, focusing on my, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, and they kind of divide it into phases, and so they call the first phase, which is just the first hop, essentially, focusing more so on just like cycling my leg through so I can get a farther distance, as well as in my third phase, making sure that I land properly.
You talked about this past weekend how there's a new setup for the triple jump here at the Vanderbilt indoor facility. Up until this track season, we hadn't been able to host events here. How meaningful is it for you guys to be able to compete at home 2 weeks in a row like you did these past couple weekends?
It's amazing just having such a nice facility, and there's a lot of SEC teams this past weekend, so it's kind of nice kind of showing off your home field, but it's really nice, and just having a place to train, especially when it's that as cold as it gets here,
Yeah.
Even though the temperature fluctuates, it gets pretty cold. So it's definitely would be challenging trying to practice outside, so it's really nice having a place to train.
Commodores showed off their facilities and their skills this past weekend. Simone Charley had the school record in the triple jump. You're a two-sport athlete. You also play on the Vanderbilt soccer team, team's leading scorer this past season. When do you make the switch from soccer to track, or is it you're always focused on both, or can you practice with both teams at the same time?
Well, during soccer season, I just do soccer and focus on that. but soccer season ends towards the end of October, so I have November and December to kind of relax a little bit. But once track season starts, I double up a little more, and so a lot of times on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'll have soccer practice in the morning and then track in the afternoon. But other than that, it's not too bad.
That's got to be quite a tough bit of conditioning to have 2 practices in a day, but Simone, we know you can handle it. About soccer and the triple jump coming together, I mean, you use the same long arm stride for the triple jump as you do for soccer. You're in such a routine with the triple jump and such a mindset. Have you ever just been tempted to jump in the middle of a soccer game?
I can't say I have, but I would say on corner kicks it comes in handy when you're going up for a header. So yeah.
Great stuff. Soccer, track and field, coming together with our Vanderbilt Star of the Week. Simone Charley, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome back to the show. Now behind the desk with me is Allison Mast, and we'll send it over to the whiteboard with Virginia in order.
Hi everyone. Okay, so we're doing fill in the blank today. And so first off, so Stallings is blank in this video. I don't know if you guys remember, but do you remember Stallings' crazy arms during our last basketball game? Unfortunately you do. Okay, Ben?
Yeah, this one to me is very, very clear. He is definitely air guitaring here. There is no question about it. That's just classic form.
Okay, I'm going to say he's warming up his arm to play catch with his baseball playing son, Jacob.
Okay. Well, okay. I think I'm going to have to go with Ben on this one. I'm a fan of air guitaring, not going to lie. Okay, so up next we have the last time the Doors lost 6 in a row, odds are you probably weren't even at Vanderbilt at that time, because the last time that happened was in 2002 and 2003. Okay, Allison?
Yeah, during that sad stretch, the losing streak wasn't really, in my mind. I was reveling in the Angels' World Series victory over the San Francisco Giants in Game 7.
Well, speaking of the Angels, more importantly, I'd have to say, not me, but Mike Trout, the greatest player in the history of the world, was 11 years old.
I like the historical edge there. But I am going to have to go with Allison on that one because who doesn't love the Angels? Okay, up next we have, I would have bet blank that Josh Henderson would not start a game this season. Now, you guys have probably noticed that you haven't been noticing a lot of Josh Henderson. Why? Because he's injured all the time. Okay, Ben, your turn.
I'd have to say that this is probably one of the biggest shocks of the year, not only that Josh Henderson is playing and being effective, but he started in a game. I would have bet Josh Henderson's healthy ACL. So unfortunately, it looks like Henderson may not be able to finish this season since he started the game and it's probably going to blow out the next game or two.
Well, that's mean. I love Josh Henderson, and I was so excited when he started. I was actually celebrating in the stands. People were staring at me, but I probably would bet Sam Wild's World Series ring that he would not start a game this season.
That's probably worth more than Josh Henderson's ACL. That sounds pretty mean to take away Sam's ring.
Gosh, those were some mean comments there. I think, though, I'm going to have to give the last one to Allison, because at least it's an object, not someone's body part.
Hey, ACLs are objects too. That's a valuable object. You can ask Max behind there. He knows ACLs are valuable. Anyhow, as we go later in the show, the better the Commodores do. Vanderbilt tennis was ranked 25th, but then they beat number 19 Kentucky 4-3 recently. Of course, got a little worse, went on to play number 20 South Florida and lost 4-3. So now Vanderbilt is ranked 26th, which is still, better than most teams this winter, but a lot to be excited about with this tennis team.
Definitely. Senior Suresh Iswaran, who's actually their number 6 singles player, clinched the victory against Kentucky for them. So a big moment for him. AJ Austin and Reese Johnson still rolling in doubles, and then freshman Danny Valent was undefeated during the weekend. So he's doing awesome this spring season so far.
Yeah, definitely. And now to wrap up the show here, we have our favorite recurring segment. Austin Carter Samuel's tweet of the week. Allison?
Okay, ACS got creative this week, people. He actually posted a picture along with the tweet of a dollar bill, which reads, "I am a piece of paper, and I control your entire life." That's my George Washington voice, if you were wondering. To which Austin responds, "Don't let it happen. Ride your passion. Chase your dream." So there you go.
That's some James Franklin stuff right there.
Unfortunately, yes.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here at VU Sports Wired, a.k.a. the Darren... I forget the names of the show at this point. We'll catch you next week.